Hello everyone. So you picked up a CRT on the side of the road, or you paid an astronomical price on eBay, whatever the case may be. You're here and you want to get RetroArch working on it. You want to see that 15.7 horizontal. You want to see it in 60 hertz, and you want to see it with the glorious, beautiful scan lines on your CRT. Well, you come to the right place. So first and foremost, got a few links here. We're going to go to the list of cards that are acceptable with CRT Emudriver. So go to the link, and then you'll see, first of all, you have an older format for legacy cards, and you have a newer format for newer AMD cards. Yeah, newer. Well, my particular card that I got for $25 from like Walmart seller was a R7 200 series, and I have Windows 10 64-bit, so I'll be downloading this. So I'll go ahead and download this, just the same as you all may be doing at the same time you're following along. And then I'll just go ahead and throw that right onto the desktop. And then while that's downloading, I'll go ahead and get another link download going, and that's for RetroArch. And this is a video for having multiple displays, because the graphics card has two outputs at least, so maybe you got two displays, and we'll want to have a separate RetroArch for each display to make sure that it comes up correctly. So I'll go ahead and download this as well. And this is just going to go right to the desktop. RetroArch 64-bit Windows 10. So it looks like I've got both downloads. So I'm going to go ahead and extract this right here to the desktop. And while that's doing its thing, I'm going to go ahead and try to start Emudriver here. 7-zip if it will go. No, it wants to finish this. That's fine. You can go ahead and close that out. We're done with that for the minute. So we've got this extracted, and now it's asking if I want to extract this, which I clicked earlier, so I'll extract that. This is extracting now. Cancel. I clicked it a few times. So we're done with these two. Clean that up a little bit. So now we have the CRT Emudriver and RetroArch. So we'll go ahead and get right into CRT Emudriver here. We have a setup folder here and a VM maker folder here. These are exe, not folder, excuse me. That's what we'll be utilizing now. So go ahead and run the setup, and you'll see your correct graphics card here if you have that installed in the PCI bus correctly. Make sure at this point that you have the correct cables going to your display. You'll want to use premium cables and premium adaptation. You should be seeing something at the end of this. So this is saying, hey, do you want to install this? We're going to be doing test signing. We're going to be turning that off, and I'll be showing you how to turn that back on with a specific CMD command, so that you can go back to playing whatever games you want to that require you to have those driver signings. So for now, we're going to say yes, we want to turn off the driver signings that are required for a lot of drivers in Windows. So we're turning those off, and so CRT Emudriver can be installed, and it's basically a modded driver for these cards. Let's see, and that is successfully installed. Congratulations. So at this point, I'm going to install the mode lines that I'm going to use, and I'm going to be concerned with the mode line specifically 2560 by 240. So this is the one that we're going to be mainly using when we run VM Maker here. So I ran VM Maker. I'm going to click Edit Settings. I'm going to change monitor settings to Arcade 15.7. Standard resolution is fine with me. 4:3 fine for me. And next I'm going to go to Video Card. And I'm going to click on not my RTX 3080, but the Radeon R7200 series. So I'm just gonna, it doesn't matter what it's called, the displays here. Don't worry about that. What matters is that it's enabled and it's the correct card. So this will take a second to link up. And as I said earlier, you should be seeing something on your CRT TV or TVs. If the cabling is correct, it shouldn't be in sync, and it's not going to look good, but not yet. So this is ready to go, and first of all we'll need to go to this output area here, and we'll need to turn on analog EDID emulation. So that's been turned on. You'll see the displays maybe look a little bit differently now. My particular, as it restarts the video drivers here again, my particular device takes a BNC connection, BNC connectors for RGB. I have a quick picture I can show you. So as you can see, the sync comes through the horizontal and vertical separately. They'll need to be the same cable or the same pin. So you'll want to enable composite sync if you know that you have separated syncs. So like I said, I'm going to enable it because I know my syncs are separate and they need to both be coming through the horizontal cable. So I'm going to enable it. If you have an older card, pre-HD 5000, then yeah, you'll want to enable it as well. So otherwise, you don't have to. And that is enabled for me. I'm getting a scrambled image. That's okay. We're still not there yet, as I wait for the video card to restart. Okay, so that looks like it's about done. Hold on, there we go. So now we'll want to go to user modes. So we're done with this tab. We'll go to user modes, and then we're going to make sure this is checked and browse. Specifically, go to your CRT Emudriver here if it's not there already, and you'll want to go to user modes super. That's where I showed you that resolution earlier, 2560 by 240. So it says that it's processing. It's probably done. Generate modes is what we'll do next. So click this. 15 modes generated, including the mode that we're going to be utilizing here. Install the modes. Yes, we're going to be installing these modes to the CRT Emudriver, and we want to do that. So now the AMD Radeon graphics driver should be able to accept those mode lines, specifically the 240p one that we're going to be utilizing. The reason why it has such a high number here is because it needs it for the pixel clock to hit that 15.7 for it to understand it. Okay, so let's see. So now at this point we'll need to go ahead and get deep into RetroArch. So the RetroArch installation does not come with a config file at first, so we'll need to run that. So, it looks so pretty and beautiful, doesn't it? How nice. Okay, it's ran one time, so we can see now that we have RetroArch here, which we are going to be modifying. Sorry, mine opened up on the other monitor, so I'll bring it over. So I have a few changes here which need to be made. So the list here is a little daunting, but it's in alphabetical order, so just go on down to where it says CRT, and then you'll see CRT switch resolution, and that needs to be 0. 2560 is what it's already at. That's fine. This needs to be changed to true, so go ahead and change that now. And if these weren't changed already to what's written here, then go ahead and change those. 60 frames per second, we need that. Custom viewport, we're going to make sure that our custom viewport height, there it is. Took me a while to see it. That's 240. And width, 2560. And then menu driver, we'll just go on down to where we see M. And you could do a find for these if you want to. It's ozone rgui. And like I said, yeah, you could do a find and then just find it, but that's okay. We'll go on down. Next is video aspect ratio. We'll want to change this to this number here. Okay, and we'll want to make sure that's set to false. Yes. Video driver, this is important. You can try DirectX 12, which would be a 12 here. You can try Vulkan, which is spelled like this. For Mupin 64, which is the N64 emulator, that's pretty good. You'll want to use GL, OpenGL. But yeah, we'll use DirectX 11 to start here. So that's this video driver here. So D3, well, you're gonna watch me type it a million times. Okay, D3, D11, and then full screen. Video F full screen, we want to set that to true. And this is where it gets interesting because we're actually not utilizing that 2560 as our X and Y. We're using the X and Y here. Kind of an interesting solution. So we're taking that 2560 by 240 and we're only showing the 320 of it for some really interesting solution to the problem here. And one of the most important things that I'll tell you is this video monitor index is set to 0. That's going to be your main display, I would assume. So for my CRTs, they're on 3 and 4. So I'm going to have a separate RetroArch installation for each one based upon that video monitor index right here. So you'll want to have all of the other things that we just changed the same between, if you have 2 CRTs, then you'll have 2 installations and they'll just be, 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, whatever they end up being here on this display list. This is my 3080 displays. These are the Radeon displays. So 3 I'm going to go ahead and use first. And I know for a fact that 4 looks like 4 has already found the correct resolution. whereas 3 hasn't. So I'm going to need to brute force 3, which is the Panasonic Tau, into finding that resolution. So for now, actually, I can go ahead and set this if I wanted to. If you see that already there, go ahead and set it. So basically, if you see this resolution here, set it, keep the changes, and you'll see this long boy here, and you should see it in sync, beautiful looking with scan lines. Whatever wallpaper it picks up, you know, it's going to look really stretched, but it's going to be in sync with scan lines, and it should look correct on your display, other than the fact that it's really stretched. So if you can't hit that yet, then we're going to go ahead and use RetroArch to make it think about doing it itself. So for this one, this display is 4. That monitor index is 4. So for that particular display, I do not need to have switch resolution on. That can be off. It's already at the correct resolution, so it can be off. But I need this to be switched to 1, which is actually 15.7 on 1. When you open RetroArch, you'll see, if you go to this section in settings, you'll see it under video. Switch res, in that setting, you'll see all of the different options, and they are, like I said, 1 is 15.7, 2 is 31.4, 3 is 31.4 at 120 hertz, 120 refresh rate. So we're going to be using 1 for these old school CRTs to get to 15.7 hertz, and we're trying to force it. Otherwise, we already got it here through the VM maker. It already picked it up from this, but because I have a kind of wild series of things going to this is DisplayPort to HDMI, and then HDMI to component. All pretty nice cables, but as you can see, it wasn't able to pick it up right away. So I'm going to be forcing switch res on that, and that Panasonic Tau is the one getting that wild signal flow, and that is at video monitor 3. So I'm going to save this, and now this should be changing my Tau unit when I run it. Let's see if it does it. It's doing something. Okay, it hasn't correctly ran it, so I'm going to close that for now, and I see that I'm going to need something else, and that is custom resolution utility. So since I'm going to have to brute force my way into that, I'm going to download custom resolution utility. It downloaded here. I'm going to let me say that, extract it, and I'm just going to throw it over here so you can see it. Alright, so here it is, and what this does is it allows you to create new resolutions, and then these are for resetting your video driver. But be wary when you reset your driver, the restart 64-bit restart. If you were to double click this, it would restart your graphics drivers, so you don't have to restart your system. But it may throw off the order here. So if you want the order to always be the same, you're going to have to just restart Windows. So I'm going to go ahead and find that display that's not syncing correctly here. I know that it's the Latonium because if I go in here, I go to can click on Advanced Display Settings, and it will tell me that that's its name there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one, and I'm going to add a new resolution. I'm going to you could try CRT here, but I know exactly what I want to do. So that's 2560 by 240, and the front porch and sink and back porch, and we'll do, okay, and this is 60, 25, 60, 240, 60, there it is, 15.7. You want to make sure that you hit this when you create a resolution in here, or you'll it won't sync, and you'll just see some squiggly stuff. So now that we've made this, if this is full or something, then you can add it here and then add it here. Okay, so we'll click OK here. That should have made it. So now I can restart it here, but like I said, that's just going to mess up my monitor indexing. So if that doesn't mess up your monitor indexing, if you only have one display, for example, then go ahead and do this, and you won't have to restart your computer. Otherwise, restart your computer now. Alright, so basically after setting that custom resolution utility, we should be able to go back to RetroArch, and this is only if you aren't getting this long guy here. You should have basically only be doing this if you're not able to see that. Sorry, I'm saying long guy. I mean, if you're able to see this resolution here and set to it, then you won't need to create that custom resolution. But we're still not able to see that custom resolution even though we set it for it, but we will be able to get to it now. Because we set it here, we should be able to get to it. So go ahead and run RetroArch without further ado, and RetroArch syncs for me. Hopefully it did for you if you were having issues as well. So, and I'll go ahead and show you that it did sync. Yep, there it is, the long guy here. So 2 long boys, and I'm going to identify them. So I'm going to do a little bit of a trick here. So if you were already at this point, more power to you, but if you just got to this point like I did, go ahead and switch them just for the second and apply. Now what that's going to do is that's going to put this mode into Windows kind of memory here, and now it's going to remember that. So let's identify 4 and 3. I can barely tell what these numbers say. Oh, now I can tell 4 and 3. Okay, I've got those set up correctly. And now I can go ahead and close RetroArch, and it should still allow, yep, it still is keeping that resolution. So even though RetroArch is closed, it kept the resolution for me on the quirky display. Not that one, these 25, and yep. So, you know, it is a weird stretched out thing when you're not currently using them, and because of that, you can just make, you know, a custom wallpaper for it. So like here's one. That's what it looks like, but on that monitor it looks great. So you can set that as the wallpaper for that monitor. Basically, a quick way to do this, free, is with GIMP. So you'll open up GIMP and then you'll throw in a really high resolution, like 16 by 9 wallpaper, and then you'll just click here so that the layer is selected once you've tossed it in, and then you'll want to scale the layer, and then you'll just do 2560 by 240, and you'll probably have to unlink this and then click scale here, and then you'll just file export as a PNG and then set that as the wallpaper for that, and you'll have a nice beautiful picture with scan lines right there on your CRT. So, and then the last and final step would be to disable test signing. So if this is your main computer that you've installed the Radeon on and you're using as a CRT Emudriver emulation suite, then you'll want to go into your CMD if you're ready to play a different game that requires test signing to be on. So I have System 32 running now, so I'll just need to turn this back on. So now that it's completed successfully, I can restart my computer, and then I can start playing, you know, a modern game that requires it to be on. So I hope that this has really helped you all get nice 240p with beautiful scan lines. Have a great and wonderful day.